This is Hot Mic. Hot Mic on the networks of WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2 on this Thursday morning, ready to rock and roll. North Dakota State women's basketball is back out on the road, a familiar refrain for our next guest because it seems like it's been constant. But Summit League play underway. The Bison women are 3-0 after a sweep last weekend as they beat Denver and then a really nice win over Oral Roberts. They're tonight. They start a road swing, 3 straight on the road as they'll take on Omaha tonight. Then it's a trip to Kansas City on Saturday, and they wrap it up with a game at South Dakota for coming back home to welcome on UND. As Jory Collins joins us each and every Thursday at 10 o'clock. Bison sit 3-0 in Summit League play. I know you got to be ecstatic about that, but we were joking on Tuesday I was at practice. This is an easy road trip. It's just on the bus ride down compared to what you've done this year.
Yeah, I mean, 6-hour bus trips, nothing. Same time zone is the big key. I know what time it is when I wake up in the morning, what time everything's starting. I don't have to check our team works on our calendar app and decide if that's in Central Time or Mountain Time or Pacific Time or Alaska Time or all that stuff.
I know it's in the past, and we're going to talk about Omaha tonight, but just to recap, Jory, how your team played specifically in that fourth quarter Saturday against Oral Roberts. What did you take away from what you saw happen Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, I was really proud of how we've guarded, and I know we've talked about that, but I thought, late in the game in the fourth quarter, I thought we were pretty steady defensively for the most part. I give Oral Roberts credit. I thought they made some really tough shots that were heavily contested. I thought Oglesby and Jones were both really efficient and I didn't think we gave them anything really too easy, and they were just good players, made good plays. The rest of the team, I thought we guarded Ruthie pretty good. I thought we guarded the Tramble girl who's been scoring high level for them. So I thought that was a really good job by us. And then really in the fourth quarter, I think their legs gave out a little bit. They weren't finishing plays quite as well. And then we, stayed rebounding. We stayed being tough on the defensive end and then got our own offensive plays. I think, Avery's whatever 0.80 run she kind of had there with a 3 and 1, and then the shot at the shot clock buzzer. We're just big plays at big times that you need to beat good teams.
We've talked often about Avery, but that stretch, that was just a dominant run there in the late stages against Oral Roberts. How big was that 3? We've talked about her ability to go out and step out and make a shot like that, to have the confidence and say, I'm going to go take a 3-pointer, because that was a huge shot for your rally in the fourth quarter on Saturday.
You know what? She took one earlier in the game, and they wanted her to take them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was an air ball, but it wasn't very close on the first one. And, for her to step into the next one, it's something she's been working on. She hasn't taken a ton this year. But what's funny is, you make that one, then all of a sudden she makes 4 or 5 in practice this week, kind of feeling herself a little bit, and it looks right. And it's like, okay, maybe we can get some confidence going there and she can step into those. And, we've been really fortunate with her and Drapes, kind of playing off each other of who we want, in the lane and outside on the perimeter. They're both versatile enough to take advantage of, whoever's guarding us and whatever we deem best for our team that way. But it was fun to see her kind of do that in the fourth quarter and make some big plays.
She is known, obviously, for her rebounding ability. Got a 4th double-double, which, again, we've talked about this. This is, I know I asked you post-game on Saturday. You want to see more of that, what she's able to do. But this is an ascension here, Jory, where she's getting a lot of attention. But how do you adjust for that, knowing that double teams are going to be coming after her?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. We always start all of our practices. We practice getting double teamed at the beginning of the year, even when we probably haven't earned the right to be double teamed yet, or we got young players that we don't know. We just start practicing for that because you feel like, hey, this kid's going to be good enough. At some point, you're going to deserve to be double teamed, and people are going to dig and go after you. And I think Drapes has earned that some. Avery's starting to earn that. It's really just about your awareness level in there and communication from everybody else. And, we have offense we run when we throw it in the post and being in the right spot. So we know where to look and how to take advantage of 2 people on the ball. And you got to be able to play inside out and make those plays. Schulte's 3 in the fourth quarter against Oral Roberts was because, monster shot. but that's because, we had a great screen roll and Avery was rolling in hard and everybody knows she's in there and they feel like they got to run and help on her and get somebody free on the perimeter. And then you got to be able to make them pay. And, fortunately that day we were able to do that.
You get a sense after the game. I know there was a video put out. You go into the locker room. That was a big win. The team recognized that. I know you addressed it before the game. How this was a big game. I know it's middle of January, but was that a bigger win than normal?
I don't know, Dom. I don't think so for our team. I think, I know it's cliche, but everybody's like, it's conference games.
Yeah.
It's a home game, so it's like in our mind, it's a must-win game. So sure, because let's be real. SDSU hadn't lost a conference game in 2 years. If you want to be there, you're gonna have to do something in 0-1-2, and in the 2, you better be the one planning on getting them. That's just the reality of the situation. So yeah, they're all big, and they're all really critical. I think the way we won in the fourth quarter, I think being down 8-0 in the game, I think being down 8 points in the fourth quarter and then coming back is definitely a little more to that win, just in the fact that we overcame a couple deficits there and stayed tough, are things you take away from that game that are probably a little extra.
30-3 though over the last 2+ years at home. You got to be. I mean, you mentioned you got to win at home, but that's something that Bison fans are just not accustomed to with women's basketball, and now they are over the last 2.5 years at the Shack.
Well, I'm going to knock on wood that we keep going. I'd rather talk about that, Dom, after the season's over and we're still something in 3. But no, it's, we've made a real concerted effort. And I think I was talking with Andy on the radio about this, maybe Monday night. It's just, I think it's more a mentality and a mindset, than any one thing that goes into that. Is just really making a real effort to be tough in your own arena, in front of your own fans. You want to give them a good show. You want to continue to gain that support, and you want to put a good product out there that's respected. And then obviously, like I said, if you got aspirations of winning your league, you can't give up too many on your home floor.
I know we've talked plenty on Marissa Frost. I want to give a little love to one of the other freshmen, and Claire Stern, because she was out there late in the game as well on Saturday. I know she played well in that game against St. Thomas. She's playing defense, which I know you and I talked about on Tuesday. Give us the lowdown on Claire's ability to come in and have your trust that she has already.
Yeah, I think if you ask her, it'd be really funny. Her first week in the summer when she got here, I was like, oh no, Claire's gonna have a hard time. She wasn't in very good shape. I think she about passed out 3 days in a row, and had to step off, and it was kind of a welcome to college basketball. And from that week on, her arrow has been pretty steep climb. It was really evident early on, and that her feel for the game. And when I talk feel, I just mean she learns quickly. She understands basketball concepts. She's probably our best passer, really, just like being able to high-low and see people open and throw some things open for us in our offense. I don't know that that's totally been on display yet, but things we see regularly in practice. She seems like she's kind of cruising around at mediocre speed, but then it has a burst that you really don't anticipate from her. That's really good. And then just conceptually, defensive wise, she understands positioning, moves her feet way better than you would just anticipate looking at her. She's got to get stronger. I think the thing we harped on with her for 3 or 4 months was the physicality, being able to hold position, boxing out and playing. We're playing her at the 4, Dom, and she's not a 4. She's probably a 3. So this year she's playing out of position a little bit and doing a really good job with it. But it'll only benefit her and us in the future for her to get some experience this year. This is where she's going to get her minutes, this season, and she's done a great job with it.
She mentioned to me just about that, what you talked about the initial welcome to Division I moment, but to be out there late playing defense, making free throws like her and Marissa done, is that more common now for freshmen in Division I, or is this special for the kind of players you have?
I would say I don't know that that's common. I think both Marissa and Claire, as we've talked about, played high level of high school basketball and played a high level of summer basketball. And have all been in big moments. Claire had a game winner, I think, in the state championship or state tournament last year before she got here. so they're not really super intimidated by those things. I know they're nervous, but it's not like they're haven't ever been had that feeling before. And she's in there defensively at the end because she's such a good switcher.
Yeah.
Anticipates things coming open, and is assignment correct on sending this player left or closing this player out long or short or whatever it may be on the scouting report. She's just been really good with that and has earned the right and the trust to be out there in big situations.
So now it's on to the road here again, Omaha and Kansas City. Let's talk first on this Omaha team that you've been able to knock off over the last couple of years, but it's never been easy. What is the sense you get for this Mavericks team you're going to have tonight?
Yeah, I mean, they're just really tough kids. I mean, Carrie does a great job with this group. Grace Cave is just super tough. The Olsen kid's tough. The Kaichis girl's really tough. They get up into you, they draw fouls on you, they jump into you, jump underneath you. They just make everything you do a little bit more difficult. And we've had some great moments, and then we've had some moments against them where we just look silly. And that's credit to them and how they play. And, they're going to press us probably tonight, as will Kansas City on Saturday. There's a reason we played some of those teams in the non-conference, Charleston and Charleston Southern and Tulane and, who else with Troy, teams that just picked us up and got after us. And we had some ups and downs through all that. And I'm hoping some of that experience will pay off on the road in these environments. But yeah, they got enough players that are very, very capable. And then with their toughness and their competitiveness, it's just going to be a dogfight. And they've been great at home. I mean, I think there's something in one this year at home. So we know what we're walking into tonight.
Kansas City's one of those teams we've talked about, I think, every year when they come up on the schedule. It's just, I won't say a nightmare, but what is it about the matchup that just gives you issues?
Yeah, I think, their ball pressure, getting up underneath us. We never really had any shakedown penetrators, that are going to blow by. Riz is going to help us. Marissa Frost is going to help us. Molly's physicality handling the ball is going to help us a little more than it has in the past. But quite honestly, I mean, you look at their numbers, they're not overly impressive offensively or defensively. But again, it's another team that just plays super hard. They mix up defenses. They play kind of some weird zones with weird coverages. And you got to be able to make shots when you do. You break pressure. They get you in scramble situations where you just end up playing 4-on-3, 3-on-2. And if you make the right decision, you're probably going to get a layup. If you make the wrong one, you're going to go 0 for 4 real quick, and they're going to be running it down your throat the other way. So there's just those games aren't, hey, we're going to get it across half court and execute. And, like some of the other ones, it's a little bit of a controlled chaos. And sometimes we're good in that, and sometimes we're not.
A couple of things before I let you go. I asked Dave this yesterday when he was on. I know it's January 16th, but are you looking at where the things are in the conference standings? Who's winning? Or is it too early for that?
I have not looked at conference. I mean, I kind of know because we haven't played that many games, Dom, at least just looking. But, I mean, there was games last night. I haven't looked Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday on what they are. I know what we are, and I know who we play tonight and Saturday. And, as we get through next week, I'll take a look, see what's going on, because we'll be getting close to finishing kind of the first half and see where things are. But it just, as the older I get, the more it's like, why am I wasting any energy on things that I don't have any control over? And you just try to put, all your effort and all your thoughts and things into what you can do for your own team.
Last week you were a guest speaker at Horace Boys Basketball, which I know hits home. Tell us about that and what went down.
Yeah, that's probably the most nervous group I ever talked in front of, just because my own son was going to be super embarrassed if I went up there and embarrassed him in front of his team and friends. No, it was a great opportunity. Coach Kyle does a great job with that group, and I know Dave had spoken to him earlier a couple weeks ago, and they're trying to do some things on their Culture Wednesdays days and just come in and when you listen to people that have had some experience, and I know when I was a young guy too in high school, I could have used some advice when I was that age. And sometimes when you're young, you don't take it all, you don't believe it all. But if there's one little nugget you can get out of that and take it going forward, I think it's always great to listen to other people's perspectives.
All right, last thing here. Your game is at 2:00, I'm told, on Saturday in Kansas City. Your favorite football team plays at 3:30 in the same town. How are you going to navigate that on Saturday?
Well, I told you I'm going to get ejected in the second quarter, and then I'm going to take an Uber over, and then I'll have the bus pick me up after the game.
Well, you're a big time deal.
No.
You can get tickets. I'm not. There's no issue if you get there, right?
No, it'll be that'll be a save it. Hopefully, we're coming off 2 wins this weekend if we can get our job done, and then it'll make for a good bus ride when I get to watch it on my phone.
You're playing the Texans. Come on, you guys always beat the Texans. You're not worried about this game, right? Come on.
Playoffs. Anything can happen, Dom.
Let me tell you something. If you do get ejected, that would be a tremendous story. I'm just going to tell you that right now. That would be awesome.
Never happened. Never going to happen.
Have you been ejected before? I know you haven't here.
Nope.
Have you ever been ejected in your career?
Nope.
Okay.
Never been ejected. Never had more than one technical in one season. I get one a year.
Okay, that's it. You're averaging that.
Hey, last year, I don't think I got one.
I don't remember you getting one last year.
No, so this year I'll probably get 2.
Even it out. Thanks for the time as always. Good luck tonight. We'll talk to you next week, okay?
Okay, thanks, Dom.
There he is, Jory Collins, NDSU women's basketball head coach. Bison take on Omaha tonight. We'll have highlights of that on our show coming up tomorrow. He is in a programming predicament. His team plays at 2 on Saturday. We got to find out the distance between the Swinney Recreation Hall and Arrowhead. We'll have to do that between our next commercial break. Figure out that for Jory, how long it is from one to the other. We'll break. We come back. More on the passing of the great Bob Uecker and a couple other items we want to get to on this Thursday morning. We're back after this.